Good morning. Welcome to our episode 6 of City Walk and Talk with yours truly, Dr. Rojo. It's another sunshiny day. The weather is better than yesterday. But the word better, ano nga ba ang better weather? Kasi iba-iba din tayo eh. Not everybody likes sunshiny day. Merong iba who loves cloudy days. Like ako mismo, I don't have problem with rain. Hindi masamang weather for me kung umuulan. As long as nasa bahay lang ako. But if it's raining at kailangan kong lumabas, then I think that is the weather na medyo off. So, today, generally, sunny, clear yung sky, pero hindi rin sobrang init. Maybe because it's still a little early. How are you, everybody? Good morning sa lahat. Sa mga first-timers sa ating live audio room, welcome po. Kung busy kayo and you think this episode is still about low carb and fasting and nutrition, you may skip this part because in here, in our audio room, yung pinag-uusapan natin, anything else under the sun. Minsan, nakakapag-usap din about low carb, about fasting, but generally, we are not focusing on that. Marami naman tayong videos and contents about low carb and fasting, about health and healing. But there are also other kinds of healing, other forms of improvement na hindi lang related to physical health, hindi lang related to medical conditions, but it could be the healing that we need from the inside. Today, pag-uusapan natin about regrets. Meron ba kayong mga pinagsisisihan? May mga bagay ba kayo na kung pwede nyo lang ibabalik yung panahon ay iba yung gagawin niyo? Is there anything na hindi nyo ginawa? And later, you found out that it could have been better. Mas maganda sana if ginawa nyo yon. Or if you committed something and then the outcome is hindi expected, pinagsisihan nyo rin ba? And depending on where you are exactly now, would you change a thing sa buhay nyo? Or natanggap nyo na rin yung mga nangyari? Because when it comes to regret, alam nyo ba what study says? Mas malaki yung mga regret ng mga tao sa mga bagay na hindi nila ginawa as compared sa mga bagay na ginawa nila. If you will look at your own experiences, kung may mga bagay na meron kayong pinagsisihan, mostly, yung mga pinagsisisihan natin are yung mga bagay na we didn't act sooner or we didn't act at all. Kung sana I already pushed through with it earlier, if I already let it go earlier, if I already ended up something earlier, or I already committed to something earlier. So, it's actually the act of omission. Omission is omit. Ang mga decisions that we didn't decide. The fact na hindi ka nag-decide, it is still deciding. Kasi minsan we want to play safe. Minsan, hindi tayo nagde-decide agad-agad. We just let things happen. Kung saan lang tayo mapupunta, kung saan lang tayo ilagay ng situation. But in the end, even if you think you are not deciding, then you are still deciding na not to decide. And I think that's still an important factor. Sige. Break muna tayo ng 10 seconds while we will cross this highway. Kasi medyo maingay. Okay? Deep breathing muna tayo. Breathe in your nose and breathe out in your mouth. Thank you, Angela, Jomel, George, Dan, Maria, Key. Maraming salamat for all the support and being in our front row. Hello po. After this highway, magiging peaceful na ulit. So that's why it's a city walk and talk kasi nasa middle talaga tayo ng city. So there's traffic, there's cars, there are so many things going on. If sanay kayo sa Metro Manila traffic, then you feel happy hearing this again. Hello, Mami. Hi. Can you hear me?
Of course, loud and clear.
Wow! Welcome! So,
Walking
nandito
in
si Mami.
Provincia
How are you?
Lagoon.
Nasa
And right
Provincia
now,
Lagoon ka na?
oo, at si Bati ay nandun sa kabila na nagko-coffee.
Wow! Ah, so yung walk mo ngayon within the lagoon lang?
Within Lagoon lang. And I'll see to it that I'll spend 1 hour, 5 kilometers still.
Ah, kasi for those of you who didn't know, si Maming nagmo-morning walk na din. This is for Taji 100. Yun yung 100 miles in 1 month. So, si Maming, sobrang galing talaga ni Maming. Kasi kahit pa wala siyang kilometer tracker, hindi niya na-activate yung health app niya sa phone. So, yung only way lang para malaman niya that she is actually spending 5 kilometer walk din on a day is yung kilometer bar sa highway. Di ba meron yon? 0 kilometer, 1 kilometer, gano'n. So, yung bahay namin in Bacolod, malapit sa 0 kilometer talaga. It's in the Capital Lagoon. So, ginawa ni Mami, pumunta siya doon and sinundan niya lang yung highway until 5 kilometers para siguradong 5 kilometers. And now, kasi si Bapi, our brother with Down syndrome, marami din, gusto rin yung lumabas. Kaya lang, he has difficulty. Kasi meron siyang colostomy bag and parating yung nagugutom because of his condition. So, Maming decided to bring him today and then dyan lang sila sa lagoon. But, para ma-complete pa rin ni Maming yung kanyang 5 kilometer walk, she already just based it on her time. Time na lang, Ning, no? Kasi na-estimate mo na yung 5 kilometer mo is 1 hour walk.
On my first day, noong February 1 hour and 20 minutes. And then on the second day, I see to it that I walk fast and sometimes quick run. And I get it at 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Wow! God.
And then yesterday, Grass Doc, 1 hour and 2 minutes.
Wow!
And then,
Amazing. Okay na
I'm
yan.
quite satisfied. I extended it to kilometer 6.
Grabe, no? Yung feeling of walking and running outdoors. It's very rewarding. Na you will look forward for more. You will look forward the next day. It's something new to me. Kasi nga hindi naman ako para sa akin before kahit yung mga fun run in school. Effort talaga yun. Effort talaga yun. I think the one who can really express the good feeling, yung ganda sa pakiramdam na lumabas at maglakad o tumakbo is Mandro and Duday. So, sila talaga. Kasi nag-ano yun eh, parati silang tumatakbo talaga. Especially Duday before pa siya naging mommy.
And she appreciates the wind blowing out of her face.
Oo, sobrang ganda.
Oo.
Sobrang ganda
talaga.
Doc, ang sarap.
Kahapon, what a coincidence, on the second day and third day of my walk, the same person yung nasalubong ko.
Nagiging regular ka na.
Si Joel.
Ano
siya, construction worker sa active group, yung nearby nearby subdivision in Talisay.
Mm.
And we became friends. And
Mm.
we had now a carpenter, a welder, ano pong ginagawa niya, cabinet maker, at saka
Wow!
nagagawa siya ng tiles, floor tiles.
Sige, magpapa-project tayo sa kanya next time.
Sige, sige Doc, you continue your talk.
Oo, sali ka, maming. Sali ka. We are just talking about regrets and how we can avoid regrets in the future. Kasi nga, based on studies, yung mga pag pinagsisisihan pala natin
Oo.
can actually be coming from mostly sa mga bagay na hindi natin ginagawa. And excuse me,
Totoo.
maming, meron dyan, can you see na merong microphone sa iyong phone, na symbol?
Ayun, meron.
If ever you are not yet talking, you can push that para ma-silent off. Para
Okay,
hindi
okay.
siya maging
Okay.
background
Thank you,
noise. And
thank
then,
you.
whenever you want to talk, just press that. Okay, but I'm sure you are just there, nakikita naman kita. Feel free to interrupt anytime and butt in at magsabi ng iyong thoughts whenever you are ready. Basta kung wala pa, yun lang, off lang siya to make our audio experience better. So yun, yung
Okay.
when it comes to regrets, parang ano no, para kami ni Maming nag-walkie-talkie. So, Maming actually is already 66 years old and walang maintenance medications, walang kahit anong sakit. The only hospitalization she had was for removal ng kanyang gallbladder because of a long-term gallbladder stone. So, but other than that, wala siya. Hindi masyado na hospital. Kahit pa 6 kaming pinanganak niya, hindi siya nagpa-hospital ng 6 na beses kasi hindi ako pinanganak sa hospital. Di ba, Ming?
What an irony, no? A doctor who wasn't born in the hospital is now a very good doctor. After
Okay lang. Hindi basihan kung saan ka pinanganak.
Totoo. Agree 100%.
Sige. So, when it comes to regret, it's better if we push things to our wants and needs. If meron kayong biglang nararamdaman, if you felt something that you need to do other than your routine, for example, for the longest time, eto yung buhay mo, eto yung trabaho mo, eto yung ginagawa mo, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, biglang mong naisip na, why not I will venture into this? Or, what if eto yung gagawin ko? If there are those whispers na bigla-biglang sumusulpot sa'yo, especially in times that you are at peace, especially in times na like bago ka matulog or right after pagkagising mo sa umaga, actually, you have to listen to that. What you will not listen is after nyo mag-Instagram at tinignan nyo at biglang nagkaroon kayo ng feeling na gano'n. Kasi minsan, most of those are just, mimicry, yung na-mention natin on our first day. Na sometimes we tend to see other people's lives as something better than ours. And we want also to have something like that. Pero that is okay to get inspiration. Pero you have to really know kung totoo ba talagang yun yung gusto nyo. Or baka parang nadala lang kayo sa moment na yun that you wanted to be something like that. But the whispers and the wants, yung urges that you feel after a moment of solitude, yung kayo lang. If you are alone, if you are dreaming, if you are contemplating, or most especially the feelings that you have after your prayers, kailangan yung pagtuunan niya ng pansin. Because maybe you really need to do something about it. And when those things happen to you have to act on it. Because if not, if hindi nyo susundan yung mga whispers na yan, that can lead into not having the one that's really meant for you. We have to listen closely sa mga bagay na ino-offer sa atin. Yun yung mga glimpse yun eh. Para siyang breadcrumbs. It is actually helping you lead a certain path. And if you don't listen closely, if hindi kayo mindful, hindi nyo nakikita yung breadcrumbs na yan, you are bound to lead a life that's not really at your best interest, at your best potential. Yes, we may be living a good life. We may be living a what we consider as a great life. Pero you have to consider, baka you are living a life that's not really for you. You are living a life that's really not your own. You may find it purposeful because you are helping your family or nagtatrabaho ka, you are making a change on a certain group. But kung titingnan nyo what's really in your heart, you should ask yourself, if eto ba talaga yung totoong nakakapagpaligaya sa akin, the one that my heart will want, if ever all of these worldly things is not considered. Kung walang issue sa time, kung walang issue sa money, kung walang issue sa popularity, walang issue sa mga external social factors like yung reputation, yun ba pa rin yung gagawin nyo? Because if you are just doing it for money or baka wala na kayong ibang magawa or there's no more other thing to do that can like focus on improving your reputation, then you are in it for the wrong reasons. But if ever what you do is something na gusto mong gawin, even if immortal ka, like hindi ka mamamatay, because time is not an issue. If you are already the world's richest person, because money is not an issue. If you don't need reputation because everybody already respects you, yun pa rin ba yung gagawin nyo? Those are the things that you should ask so that you won't regret anything. And don't be afraid. Kasi ang marami dyan, when we decide to not do a certain thing, it is mostly because we are afraid to fail. We are afraid of the outcome. Dahil nga ang sabi nila, there's no really failure. There's no such thing as failed plan or failed attempt. Because for every endeavor, kahit failure pa yan, those things, you still get learning. And with failure nga, that's the time where we can also grow. So it's a 10-shot type of growth. If you've been with us since day one, I think you already know about Kensho and Satori. So for first-time listeners, Kensho is the learning from experiences that are somewhat negative. It's the kind of growth and development na nasi-shape up yung ating pagkatao towards something better after we experience hardships. But again, it's not always the case because we can also grow and develop and improve by experiencing beautiful things like traveling, like listening to yourself, doing some meditation, being creative, doing art. So those are the good things that can still help you grow. And for the negative experience, and for the negative experiences naman, then you try your best to avoid it. So that's foresight. You develop foresight. I-develop mo yung sa sarili mo na you try to anticipate what could go wrong And then you prepare everything para hindi yun mangyari. And if ever, meron talaga mga bagay that is out of our control and your plan failed, then that's an opportunity to learn. It's a potential kind of development, of improvement, of growth. Diba? So it's always a win-win. Hindi ka kailangan matakot. Because if you don't do it, the risk of regretting is bigger in omission than commission. Pero we understand that sometimes people tend to remember only yung mga bagay na ginawa nila. Especially if ginawa nila out of the ordinary. Kasi out of their routine. And when that happens, minsan nagkakaroon yan ng feelings of greater regret. But it's just about mindset. Dahil hindi talaga totoo na mas malaki supposedly yung regret mo on things that you didn't do or on things that you did and out of your ordinary. Kaya nga lang, yun yung tawag nating cognitive bias. Nagiging bias yung utak natin. Dahil hindi natin ito usually ginagawa when we committed to it, very remarkable yung moment na yon. It was that moment na you really recall. Pero sa totoo lang, it's every day na things within our routine also don't go as planned. May mga bagay that still fail even if hindi siya within our routine. Kaya nga lang, just because it happened on our normal day, we don't think of it as regret. Parang part lang siya ng routine. So, I hope you will improve on that cognitive bias. And don't dwell too much. Huwag magmukmok sa mga bagay that you try to explore and then it failed. Because, actually, that failure can happen on ordinary days. But when you committed that step to do something else, you actually gave yourself an opportunity. That opportunity is opportunity to probably have something better than kung ano lang yung usual mong na-achieve on a regular basis. So, nandito tayo ngayon sa pinaka-peak ng nilalakad namin. So, it's an uphill walk or climb. Kaya medyo hinihingal na. Thank you, Beth, Lou, Mikmik, Luis, Inday, Cindy, Angela, and Joel. Mamaya-maya, it will become more peaceful. During these times, I hope you can use this moment to ponder on your own everyday kung ano yung nangyayari sa araw-araw ninyo. And if there are things that you regret in a day, and try to do better. Si Maming, meron siyang kapatid, si Tito Wing. So, yun yung youngest brother nila. He already passed because of illness nung 1990s pa lang. Kahit mas matanda si Maming than him, Maming always looked up to him as someone na yung parang philosopher, yung parang may wisdom talaga. And at a young age, Maming thought of him as someone na hindi gumagawa ng kasalanan. Walang maling desisyon. So, she asked him, do you ever commit mistakes? And sabi ni Tito Wee sa kanya, of course, lahat ng tao nagko-commit ng mistake. It's just that he tries everything to not commit the same mistake twice. That is, kapag meron siyang nagawa na parang pinagsisihan niya, he really reflects on it. Naglalagay talaga siya ng time to be alone and think how he could have done better. So that's the essence of accountability. That's the essence of improvement. And most likely, if you are very mindful, if aware ka sa sarili mo about these things, it's actually a gift from the universe na yung mga mistakes that we regret, usually, the first time they happen, ikaw lang nakakalam. Others don't know. Or, if alam man ng iba, they don't mind. Or, it's not a big thing for them. So, they tend to forget it. So, yung mistakes na yun actually, is an opportunity provided to us by God, by the higher being, by our Creator, to give us a second chance. So that's why, in hindsight, looking back kay Tito Wee, I think that's the reason why si Maming, being one of the closest person in his life, kasi magkasabay silang lumaki. And classmates pa sila in school. Kahit magkaiba yung edad nila. But it happened that naging classmates sila in their younger years. So, naging magka-batch sila. So, they are both very close. And kahit very close sila, Maming even thought na hindi siya nagkakamali. He never committed mistakes. And it's because of that. It's because of that thought processing. It's because of that reflection. Now, when you first realize that you committed mistakes, you process yourself. Kailangan pakinggan mo talaga yung sarili mo and get to know yourself and scrutinize kung ano yung nangyari. And then, the next time around, you will know what to do. Kasi most of the time, nag-iba-iba man yung mga experiences natin sa buhay. But how we deal with them is still the same. So kahit pa iba na yung situation, but if you didn't exert any effort to improve, most likely, pareho pa rin yung outcome. So, acknowledge that you cannot actually expect a different outcome if how you do things is still the same. You have to do something differently. Kung gusto mo na yung outcome is also something better. And I think it's a beautiful thing for us to realize na as we develop this practice, that every night you try to recall the things that you are thankful for, di ba? You already know that. You acknowledge the things that you should be very thankful for. And also, think of the things that you want to ask forgiveness. Kasi yung mga bagay that we want to forgive, yun yung mga bagay where we have the opportunity to improve. So, malapit na tayo in the more peaceful path walk. I hope you are still there. Hello, Scott, Beth, Eric. Maraming salamat. Yes,
Still
Mami.
here. Still here. Doc, you remember my
Yes.
experience back then in Cebu while I'm in college?
Oo. Yung
Yung
na-scam ka.
na-scam ako. The,
Yes.
sobrang trust ko siguro sa brother ko at sobrang, ewan ko, lahat yata sa kanya. Siya na ang first person na sinabihan
Sinabihan
ko.
mo. Oo.
Kasi sabi ng mga scammer na yon, huwag mong sabihin kahit kanino. Kahit sa parent mo, kapatid mo, boyfriend mo, kasi mapahama ka sa huli. Pero, ano yun Christmas vacation. Siya lang talaga sinabihan ko. And
Hindi
while
mo talaga kayang magtago ng sikreto sa kanya?
Hindi. Talaga, totoo yan. Nung sinabi ko sa kanya, I am thinking na while I'm talking, he will tell
Comfort
me,
you.
comfort me, kawawa ka naman, mga ganun na word. Pero bali siya nakikinig lang siya, silently. But deep in my heart, ito naman, bakit walang tawa sa akin?
Kasi you are a very emotional person.
Yeah, that's it.
And one thing also na you told him, aside from na you can't keep a secret from him, pero siya yung someone that you trust so well at alam mo sana na siya yung parang mag-go down with you kung ano man yung nararamdaman mo. And then you didn't get that response. Yung yung bibigyan ka ng support.
Kahit sa words man lang, words lang hinahanap ko.
Oo, comforting words.
Oo. Nung matapos na ako ng salita, parang tapos ng whole story, sinabi niya, tapos na? Oo, tapos na, sabi ko. So, na-explain niya sa akin, lahat ng scenario was a scam. From the very start.
Alam na niya.
Yan. So, laking pasalamat ko.
Oo. So, iba talaga si Tito Iba yung wisdom niya. It's just very unfortunate na he is no longer with us. But I think that's how great also how people impact. No matter how short yung life na na-live niya sa mundo. But he lives on with us. With our memories and how he was. So, I think it's really good. I don't ever think na nung sa time na Tito made good decisions, help people, hindi siya nag-iisip that he will make an impact sa buhay ng iba. He's just doing what he think is right. And that alone, yung parang authenticity niya, yung kanyang pagiging genuine into doing what is just right, is also the same reason why even if he is no longer here, we still talk about him more often than people who are still here. No offense, of course, to others. Pero yun. That's also a good thing. We can see how we value good people, how we value genuine people, how we value people who are trying to do their best and are actually selfless enough to made an impact sa buhay ng iba, even just for immediate family. And we can learn from them. So with Tito at a young age, just based on your stories, because he passed away, I was still 3 years old then. So most of my memories of him are just passed on memories from stories, from photos, but yung aking concrete memory with him talaga, wala. And it's okay. For me, he is as real, he is as influential, he is as ever present din sa buhay ko. Even if I never really get to know him personally, just by maming stories. Are you okay there, Ming? Huwag kang umiyak, ha?
Kaiyak na ako. Yung pre-description mo is really true. Although, yung sabi mo, he is still real, he is ever present, and the other one, it's also true. How can you describe so fast, Doc? He's a person that I really, aside from my mother, from Tita Mama, I think he is the number one person who have a great influence on me of who I am right now. A part of him is me, in me.
So, I also have Tito We to thank for. Kasi yung greatest influence ko rin is ikaw. Ay.
So thankful.
So,
Although we are only ng 1 year apart
sa age.
sa age, or even less than sana kung naging
Siya sa'yo.
oo,
Full term.
pero sana kung full term lang ako, ilang months na ang gap namin.
Hindi totoo. So, hindi totoo yung ano, no, yung mga premature children will also grow inadequately later on. Kasi parang na-reach mo naman yung full potential mo, Ming.
Oo naman, quality aside.
Lumaki ka rin. Lumaki ka rin. Hindi ka na nag-retain lang sa maliit na pagkabata.
Oo. At saka baka na-reach ko yung full term ko, baka ibang tao ako. Sa
Oo,
ngayon,
magiging iba ka na, Ming. Baka maging ano ka,
ano ako,
maging tikalon.
maybe.
Tikalon
Masang ko
is,
na.
ano yan, maghambog. Hambog.
Proud, ano ba yun?
Proud, boastful, boastful.
Boastful.
Buti na lang, premature ka.
Salamat.
Mahirap yung ma-reach mo yung full term, baka ibang tao ka na.
Totoo.
So, yun. Thank you all for being with us. Emma, Zoo, Nick, Luis, nandito kayong lahat. So, I hope you get to enjoy a little something from our talk. If you have your own thoughts, share them in the comments. Or if meron sa inyong gustong sumali, just raise your hand. I think pwede kayong invite sa talk nito before we end. If you just want to share your own experiences or kung meron kayong thoughts on regrets, on forgiveness, on inspiring others, on people who had a legacy. Yung kahit wala na sila sa atin, they are still here. And that is the beauty of trying to correct and improve on a day-to-day basis. If you do this practice daily, that by the moment you wake up in the morning, hindi muna kayo biglang tatakbo, biglang tatayo, and then start your day. No. The moment you realize you are awake, stay still. Manatili lang sa bed. Try to have a moment of silence, and you can do your prayer, and you can think of how you want your day to be. You can already send your intentions if you have goals for the day. You can also send some good thoughts if you have people you care about, or kahit to the world. Just send thoughts that hopefully this day will be better for everyone. And as you go through your day, you will realize that things are actually getting better. And you become mindful na if merong mga instances in your day that you think you can improve, you take note of that so that the next time around, you will improve them. And by the time you retire to your bed, bago kayo matulog, you can reflect again on how your day went and think about those instances na merong negative feelings, even if it's dealing with business partners, clients, customers. Try to own it, try to own the experience, and see kung saan nyo pwedeng mai-improve yung scenario na yon. And if you make this as a habit, you will realize na after only a few days, I think kahit 3 days lang, in as little as 3 days, you will receive some remarkable change. Na nung the first time that you did this, you might feel like marami kayong pinagsisisihan. But after only 3 days, you will see na, oh, parang wala akong ginawang worth pagsisihan ngayon. And that's already an achievement. So, tap your back. Okay? Congratulate yourself. If since umaga ngayon, for those in the Philippines, you can just try to recall. You can start today. you can try to recall kung ano yung nangyari kahapon and which scenarios you can improve. And for those naman who are outside of the Philippines, I think nakita ko si Sir Tony dito na gabi ngayon in their time zone. Then you can reflect on those things as well. Try to radiate only positivity. I understand na minsan kailangan talagang mag-inflict ng a little, hindi naman talagang negativity. Just a little sarcasm in some instances kasi meron talagang ibang tao din na hindi dia talaga makakagets if you will keep on sugarcoating everything. So sometimes they have to be given the advice that is straightforward, and sometimes it can appear hurtful. So that's why if you think your words are hurtful, you can try to think of better ways to say it. It's extra effort, but consider that, just like in everything else, an exercise. And as you keep doing it, it will become a habit. You will also develop that kind of muscle memory. Now, every time you try to say things, you will already be on a better language, better approach, better way to deal with it. Hello, Lulu! Si Miss Lulu, magkikita kami ulit sa ating next meet and greet. Sana lumuwag na talaga, no? And lumuwag yung security when it comes to pandemic, and lumuwag din yung ating schedule. Kasi ngayon, if mag-meet and greet tayo, yung sure na sure kong time, if it's Monday to Saturday, morning walk lang talaga. So, kaya ba nating mag-meet and greet with a morning walk para lahat tayo physically active? Hello, Karen Joy, Emma, Beth, Eric. Thank you all so much. So, maraming salamat for being with us today. Medyo short lang. Is it short? Yung talk natin ngayon. And hindi ako tumakbo. I just walk because meron akong dalang backpack. Because I will work after this. And since our topic is no regrets on a mission, usually, kapag meron akong dadalhin na mga bagay for work, dinadala ko lahat. Meron akong, dala ko yung computer ko, dala ko yung planner, dala ko rin yung idea notebook, dala ko rin yung libro na pwede kong basahin because I wouldn't know how much I can accomplish or saan ako magpo-focus. So, dinadala ko silang lahat. Sometimes, I regret na dinala ko pa, na hindi ko naman dinasa. But, for me, it always works na better na lang na dalhin ko silang lahat. It's just a little effort lang naman to carry things. And my friend Mane is also helping me. So, okay lang. Kasi, what I do when it comes to doing things, that's why maraming nagsasabi how I can do things all at once. Hindi naman. But I just realized before na marami pala akong moments na nagpo-procrastinate ako. Na if I need to do task number 1 at ayoko pa siyang gawin. Kasi nga, I'm a perpetual procrastinator. I always delay things and parang, nako, yun yung need ko i-improve. Kailangan kong magsimulang gawin yung mga bagay way before their deadline. So, instead of procrastinating, doing nonsense stuff, yung ginagawa ko ngayon, if I have a to-do list of 1 to 5, kung mag-procrastinate ako sa number 1, which is the top priority task, yung ginagawa ko, hindi ako mag-idol lang or mag-watch ng movie or Netflix or not. Yung gagawin ko, kung ayaw kong gawin yung task number 1, so gawin ko muna yung task number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Pero, it is still a task na part ng aking to-do list. So that's why, kahit pa minsan, I fail to accomplish yung pinaka-importanting goals ko, but I still tick off those other things that I needed to do. But I know merong antithesis yan. And that is delaying what you are supposed to do on a long-term basis. But hopefully, it's working naman. So far, we will see. Every day is a learning process. Every day is a time to improve. As long as we are living, di talaga magiging perfect yan. There will always be room for improvement. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because that way, you know that everything will just be better than ever. So, yon. Hello, Hello, Anne Shirley, Maricel. Maraming salamat for being here. And I think that's our episode 6 for City Walk and Talk with yours truly. Ming, do you have any last words?
So, every day, very enriching, very relatable yung mga sinasabi mo. So, thank you so much in behalf of all your listeners. Thank you, Doc Grace. And dito si Bap,
Thank you.
magbababay daw.
Sige, Bapi.
Doc, thank you.
Ano? Bapi,
Okay.
kamusta ka?
Okay naman.
Okay, man. Wala ka nag-intrawa kay Mami?
Kapos na.
Nagsumba.
Tapos na? Wow!
Nagsumba siya.
Oh, dancerous
Yan ba?
talaga si Bapi, oy. Siya yung number 1 na pinaka-dancerous sa atin. Second, si Mandro.
Oo, second lang si Mandro.
Third si Bobby, si Alvin. Tapos
Oo,
yun lang, wala na.
Wala na.
Wala na. Diba lang.
Yes, yeah.
I would like to
Lipay
share
ka?
for the last time.
Bye. Yan.
Bye, Bobby. Ano, Ping?
Ay, lakosin mo.
Idlaman ko sa imo, Bobby. Kita na ito sa sana, ha?
Oo.
Love you.
By the way, lastly, yung naiinili ko lang dyan, yung nangyari nung college, yung sa med school ka, yung pinipilit kang magsayaw dun sa Christmas party.
Oo.
At naalala mong sagot mo?
Of course, yun lang yung sagot ko forever. Hindi ako sasayaw. The only time na sasayaw ako kapag sasabihin yung papatayin niyo si mami kapag hindi ako sasayaw. Yun lang.
It speaks everything na about dancing.
Ah. And my love for you.
And my love, your love for me. Yun na. Iyak naman si mami, oh.
I love you, mother. Sige, mami. Have a good day.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Same to you.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye,
Papi.
Grace.
Love you.
Bye-bye, guys.
Goodbye,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. And I don't know if you enjoyed this episode, but if you do, you can save this or you can share this to your family and friends. And we actually also upload it in a playlist in our YouTube channel na pwede nyo rin support by watching there or just subscribing. So, yun lang muna for now. Maraming salamat, everyone. I'll see you later. Maybe we can have some time to go live for our low carb and fasting, nutrition, and improving our overall life. Maraming salamat. I'll see you again for tomorrow's City Walk and Talk with yours truly. This is Dr. Rojo, and I wish you well. I wish you a good day and a good night. And every day, all day, every day, a good life for you and your loved ones. Maraming salamat po. Goodbye!